Shawna Benoit here, and today we're going over the FHA Loan Contingency Exhibit, which is the F407. This exhibit is part of the agreement with an offer dated for the purchase and sale of that certain property known as number 1, application. Buyer shall promptly apply for and in good faith seek to obtain the Federal Housing Administration FHA loan or loans described below, such that buyer can fulfill buyer's obligation hereunder prior to the expiration of the FHA loan contingency. Select A or A and B below. Any box not selected shall not be part of this agreement. All loan terms must be filled in. This exhibit becomes part of the purchase and sale agreement and applies specifically to the FHA loan. This document adds special FHA financing rules to the contract. 1. Buyer agrees to promptly apply for an FHA loan, act in good faith to obtain it, apply before the contingency deadline expires. The forms allow first mortgage, optional second mortgage, loan amount percentage of purchase price, loan terms in years, maximum interest rate, fixed or adjustable. You are agreeing to apply right away to get this specific FHA loan within the exact terms. If you don't apply or don't try in good faith, you could lose protection. Use of particular lender. Buyer can use any licensed lender in Georgia. If an approved lender is named, buyer must apply with at least one approved lender. Buyer is not required to close with that lender. You must apply with the named lender, but you don't have to use them in the end to close. Length of financing contingency period 3. A blank number of days is inserted from the binding agreement date. This is your financing protection period. During the number of days you can get out of the FHA loan if you are denied. 4. Buyer may apply for different loans. Buyer can apply for other loans, but only denial from the FHA loan listed above counts. Buyer being denied for another loan does not allow termination. If this specific FHA loan is denied, you're protected. If some other loan is denied, that does not count. 5. Buyer to notify seller of intent to proceed. Once buyer formally moves forward with a lender, they must tell the seller who the lender is and provide contact information. Seller has the right to know who the lender is and that you're moving forward with the loan. 6. Financing contingency. Buyer keeps protection only if buyer sends written notice before the deadline. Buyer provides a loan denial letter within 7 days of that notice. Important, the denial must meet strict requirements. The amendatory clause rights still exist even after financing contingency expires. If you're denied, you must notify the seller before the deadline and provide the denial letter within 7 days, or you can lose protection. 7. Use of approved lender and loan denial letter. If an approved lender is named, the denial must come from that lender. The denial cannot be based solely on not having enough cash to close, not selling another home, not giving lender paperwork on time, not making new purchases that hurt debt ratio, not meeting FHA occupancy rules, lender not finishing underwriting. You can sabotage your loan and then you cannot sabotage your loan and then claim denial. The denial must be legitimate and based on real underwriting standards. This protects the seller from bad faith terminations. 8. Special approval if property is in a condominium or subject to a master insurance policy. If property is a condo or covered by master insurance, the lender must approve the project. If project approval fails, buyer may terminate. Earnest money is refunded. Must provide letter stating project approval failure. If the condo project itself isn't approved by FHA, you can walk away and get your earnest money back. 9. Right of seller to request evidence of buyer's ability to close. If financing contingency ends and the buyer did not terminate, seller may request proof of ability to close. Acceptable proof is a loan commitment letter showing loan type, amount, and terms. Buyer has 5 days to prove it. After your financing protection expires, seller can ask for proof that you are financially ready to close. 10. Seller's right to terminate. If buyer fails to provide proof, seller gives 2 days to cure. If not cured, seller can terminate within 7 days. 11. Authorization of buyer to release information to seller and brokers. Buyer authorizes seller and brokers to communicate with lenders, verify loan status, confirm paperwork submission, confirm denial reason. You're allowed to communicate between the lender and both sides to verify what's happening. 12. Miscellaneous. The definition of mortgage loan clarifies what mortgage loan means. Secured by deed to secure debt. First versus second refers to lien priority. This just defines how mortgage priority works legally. 13. Amendatory clause. Very important. Buyer is not obligated to close if FHA appraisal is below minimum appraised value. Buyer may terminate without penalty or proceed anyway. HUD does not guarantee value or condition. If the FHA appraisal comes in low, you are not forced to close unless you choose to. This protection survives the financing deadline. 14. Agreement to seek amendment to purchase price prior to termination. If appraisal is low, buyer must send a copy of the appraisal and amendment to purchase price to F713. Seller has 3 days to either accept, reject, or negotiate. If no agreement, buyer has 3 additional days, but no later than 1 day before closing to terminate. If buyer does not terminate in time, buyer must close at the original price. Before walking away over a low appraisal, you must try to negotiate the price down. This prevents automatic termination without negotiation. Mortgage insurance premium, 15. Upfront mortgage insurance premium, paid in full or at closing, finance into a loan. Monthly mortgage insurance premium, included in monthly mortgage payment. FHA loans require mortgage insurance, both upfront and monthly. 17. Seller pays certain fees. tax service fees may or may not be included in seller contributions. Seller agrees to pay certain lender-imposed fees. 18. Repairs require an FHA commitment. Repairs must be completed before closing, be paid by designated party, not exceed listed dollar cap. If repairs exceed cap, seller provides written estimates. Either party can agree to pay excess. If no agreement within 3 days, automatic termination. FHA requires repairs must be done before closing. If costs exceed agreed limited and nobody agrees to pay, the contract terminates. 19. Seller pays for certain inspections. If lender requires inspections, seller pays. 20. Home warranty. If property is less than 1 year old, seller must provide FHA acceptable home warranty if required. 21. May be obligated to connect to public sewer. If public system is available, property must be connected. Form states who pays, buyer or seller. If costs exceed agreed amount and no agreement, termination with earnest money can be refunded. If public water or sewer is available, connection is mandatory under FHA rules. 22. Certification of truthfulness and completeness. All parties certify contract is complete, no hidden agreement, all side agreements disclosed to lender. Everything must be fully disclosed, no secret agreements. Certificate of arm's length transaction, 23. Parties confirm whether this is an arm's length transaction or there is a relationship. FHA wants to know if buyer and seller are related or connected. Signature page, buyer number 1 signature, buyer number 2 signature. If there are more than 2 buyers, additional signature page F267 is attached. Seller signature, seller number 2 signature. If more than 2 sellers, then attach the F267. Buyer's broker signs here and seller's broker signs here. And this concludes the 407 FHA Loan Contingency Exhibit.